So we're discussing different ways to look at currencies, and we're discussing different perceptions of currency in of itself as well. And so, Jesus, tell me a little bit about like your background with Bitcoin and just any kind of currency in general, and what was your relationship like with these currencies, and how did it get to where you are today?
So with Bitcoin and crypto specifically, or anything I couldn't touch, like I said it before, like unga bunga style. Like if I can't touch it, it's fake, scam. Like, and that's exactly how my relationship started with Bitcoin. But as it started, like evolving and understanding it a little bit better, I started to recognize that, man, like it's really reshaped the way I looked for example, the fiat system and the way I conduct myself with money, because I was moving in that direction anyways. Because like right with the fiat system, you're kind of pushed into consumer debt. Like the one that they get Americans the most with is the car. Like that's where they get you. Like to finance the car. Oh yeah, no, 60 months, 72 months. Like yeah, 84 months. Yeah, go right ahead. And then you kind of buy into the monthly payment idea. So you kind of basically sell your soul without realizing it, because
What do you mean by that?
you're if because you say, oh yeah, no, 84 months, 84 months, boy. Like you start doing, yeah, 60 months is 5 years, 72 months is 6 years, so 7 years of your life for this car,
That
like gone
you
down the drain.
that you won't even
Like
own. Yeah.
yeah, you've committed this amount of money for like loans per se. And just because of that, like I'm rewinding back and looking at it as like, oh shit, damn, they did get me there. Like, right, because I had a car loan. Like I'd never, like I would take out longer term loans, but I knew I was going to pay them off faster. Like, but I did that to give myself the comfortability of having a lower monthly payment, just in case if I, for whatever reason, like if you need, I don't know, like let's say your monthly payment was $600, but you pay $800, right? You're paying off the loan faster. You're not letting it accrue interest, but you also, like, if you need to, you always have $200 on ice for whatever emergency. But now I'm slowly starting to realize with Bitcoin, I was like, damn, bro, that's just like nonsense. Like absolute, like if you don't leverage it properly, it's complete bullshit. Like you're literally killing yourself. You're eroding your soul slowly, because because the thing is, you go to work to pay for these things, but then the resentment starts to build towards that thing. And
And
like
I'm
that's what I mean
sure
by it eats. Yeah, yeah, go ahead, because
one
you
I'm
lagged
sure
a
that
little bit
that
there.
how and I'm sure that that eats at your soul when you have that bitterness toward the thing that you're paying for, whereas with Bitcoin you don't really get the bitterness, uh, unless you're a normie that are just trying to day trade Bitcoin basically, and
Yeah.
you're trying to gamble your way to the top, because you use the term leverage there. Uh, you're familiar with like leveraging Bitcoin and day trading and such, right?
Yeah, but not like rudimentary understanding with stuff like that. But I know, like, right, that people try and do crazy things, and like just you can't day trade Bitcoin. Bitcoin is way too volatile. First of all, like you
Yeah,
have to be really like you have to have such a huge stake in it to day trade in the first place. That's what I noticed with stocks too. Like you can't really effectively, like, you could do options. I don't know if there's like options for Bitcoin if you wanted to make quick cash, but for stocks, like no, you need a ton. Like you need to have a whale of stocks before you go doing something crazy to day trade if you're gonna make money.
yeah. Well, and you need to have capital, uh,
Yeah.
which in the fiat system, good luck without getting a loan and such. And even then, banks will only lend you a certain amount of money, depending on, which makes sense, of course. But at the same time, the people that are the most rich, what happens with the banks, I think what many people don't understand is that the rich people are actually borrowing from the poor people. The more that you do a direct deposit every month, the poorer you usually are. And I know that based off of experience because the more that I had to pay that credit card or that loan payment or the student loan or whatever in the past, the more I was struggling to even just maintain afloat. And it's only when you have those, reduction of bills that you're able to check back with yourself and be a little bit more rooted in your own understanding of reality to some degree. And I think that's what Bitcoin allows you to do that fiat doesn't.
Yeah, no, 100%. Even just just the contrast between Bitcoin and fiat, like when those things get introduced, like the idea of what Bitcoin can promise versus once you start looking actually dissecting the fiat system. And I say I typed it in. Explain the fiat system to me. I typed into GPT and I said, explain it to me like I'm five. And then like no, yeah, because it's the stupidest things, but sometimes we get caught up. I don't know if it's a Western thing. I don't know if it's like an egotistical vanity kind of thing. But sometimes you need to like be talked down to in a sense, like right, and broken things down so simple that you're like, oh, okay, like yeah, like now
Mm.
I get it. And
Could
then
you
it,
could
and
you
then
give me an example?
like I said, just explain the fiat system to me like I was five, and it was basically just that. Like, all right, so you need debt. Like the big explanation was the fiat system runs on debt. The core ideology of the fiat system is debt, and you constantly need to be in that cycle. And I forgot what I think the example was like. Right, you kind of like you have to feed into this bully basically always. Like
Mm,
you're gonna get pushed around. It's gonna push you around, and you got to do what it says because you just have to. I think it was kind of roughly like just the and of the explanation it gave me, and I was like, it kind of stuck with me because yeah, but then you have to get a little bit more like I guess metaphysical or spiritual and recognize that it's nobody is doing this to you except you.
mm,
Especially in a country like America where everybody talks about being individuals and that pride of like I'm my own person and along those lines you start to realize that nobody's doing anything to you. Like
mm.
Bitcoin doesn't do anything to you. Like if you and then people get so upset at it. Like I used to get upset at the idea of like nah, fuck, that's nonsense. Like it's not real. Like it's not tangible like that. That's bullshit. I don't care about that. Like I want real tangible cash. I need cash in my hand. And then you realize that the piece of paper you call cash is worthless, and toilet paper has more of a purpose than the actual U.S. dollar. It's like,
Yeah.
well, oh shit. And just the way it's just that whole idea like it starts like you start getting like it's like a jigsaw puzzle piece and you finally start to put everything together and it explains to you and now I realize at the more I look at Bitcoin and the more I look at what the fiat system is, the less desire I actually have for things.
Mm.
And
What do you? Could you give me another example with that?
yeah, like I just don't want to buy things because I feel like I'm feeding into this pit of endless like despair
Hmm.
for like obviously you have to go out and buy like groceries and buy things like that like so we have to be a little bit reasonable and like practical with it. You can't just like I'm never going to buy anything with the US dollar ever again. All right, good luck, bud. When you starve to death, we'll definitely remember you.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like you have to, but it just I realize like how much like now you have to be a little bit more tactful with the debt you incur. And like I even thought about it I started to finally understand why people like buy homes and take out home equity loans because because of the interest is less on that home equity loan than it would be for a traditional home loan. And like like now I'm actually starting to see what these people who have a ton of money talk about just from
Mm.
looking at Bitcoin, from understanding the contrast between what crypto and Bitcoin and crypto are two different things. We've talked about that before, but like in that space, the idea of having a digital currency versus having the fiat system, like that alone has made me understand. Okay, this is what they're talking about.
Well, that's very interesting. Why do you think it is that there's a socioeconomic puzzle that seems to be revealed through studying Bitcoin that wasn't there before, and now you're able to put those pieces together?
Because it's like an algebra equation in a sense. It's like, yeah, like you have like, right, you have y. Okay, cool. Well, what the fuck is y? And then
Hmm.
you start throwing in x, and then you start throwing in like all the different variables and stuff like that. I know it's a rudimentary explanation, but it allows you to reverse engineer once you have the other component. Like, right,
Hmm.
once you have like, that's why I like establishing extremes always, because when you establish extremes, you can find the middle ground, and because the extremes have been established, right, the exploitation of the fiat system and the potentiality that Bitcoin could give, now you start to see the middle grounds, and because you basically have to find like the middle ground or the middle way, sort of say. You really have to, and see, and that's your responsibility too, is to find that middle ground and walk the middle ground. Because even we look at it like, right, between, not to make it quote unquote religious, right, but we have the two opposing forces, that is God and the devil, or good and evil. Like, well, these things have been established already, so now you have to figure out your way to the thing that you want to get to. And because of that, because now you have the other side, because before we didn't have anything like that. That's one of the things that I started to realize with Bitcoin being present now. Now you have something to contrast and make comparisons into the fiat system. Well, wait a second, this thing will actually be valuable, and this thing actually has, like, right, it's limited, like there's actually supply and demand concepts behind it, and it's mathematical, as opposed to when you come over to like the fiat system. Oh, you could just print endlessly whenever you want.
Mm.
The sky's the limit with this. Until we run out of paper, you can keep printing. And then when we run out of paper, we're going to find a way to keep printing even more, because we'll just well, you put it on some other piece of paper. And yeah, and it's just like when I talk about it, it's like disgusting, because it's like the money's only worth it because the U.S. government says it's worth something, and it's like, but yeah, but that's made by people. I'm like, it's like you start to put the pieces together. I just like it. Really, it has helped me like expand my knowledge on how to leverage the fiat system, understand what the fiat system is, and it also showed me why they don't want you to know so much about the actual fiat system itself, because it, we've discussed this before, especially in the RCA. We talked about, if there is no debt, it's circulating in the fiat system, then it's non-existent.
Yeah.
Everything collapses.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I've thought about, like, is it even worth it to even get rid of your debt? And I'm not saying that like you should go out and, get all this debt, but
Yeah,
let's say that if you do have debt, is it worth it to pay off, quote unquote, your debt, if you can pay the minimum payments and all of that, and you can buy other things like Bitcoin? If you have, maybe if you have like $100 extra per month that you were going to put toward that debt to pay off, what if you bought it toward gold or silver or Bitcoin? Like, would that be appropriate in the long term? If it's going to appreciate in value naturally, and gold and silver only goes up basically.
yeah,
So uh like it's not going to be, it's definitely going to be a slow burn, right? But it's not going to be something that is immediate. And Bitcoin, I mean, the likelihood, I know Michael Saylor has talked about how the likelihood of it going to the moon is higher than it going to zero. And the reason for that is just math. I mean, you can just do the math. That's what's really cool, because there's a $2.5 trillion cap or so right now on Bitcoin. Now there's a $28 trillion cap on gold. So that means that in order for Bitcoin to be in that same realm as gold with the cap, well, that would, what's 28 divided by 2.5? Roughly like, uh,
8 divided by 2 would be 14.
yeah. So, I mean, Well,
I'm
let's
trying to
let's
think of
say this
25.
actually. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So let's just multiply 2.5 times 5. Okay. So that is 12.5. So that would be 12.5 trillion. That would mean that Bitcoin would effectively be around 500,000 right now if the trillion-dollar cap was that much. Assuming my math is correct, that's
Yeah.
that's what it would be, roughly speaking. And so and now look, the trillions of dollars in Bitcoin has mostly accumulated over the past few years, and it's only going to get increased. Like, think about October 10th. Every crypto person knows October 10th was a dark day. No, just like they just joking. But October 10th, what happened was they liquidated all of the stuff. There was more liquidation of crypto on that day for Bitcoin than ever in history. And yet it's still above 110, 15,000, whatever. So just kind of put that into perspective for a moment. Like, there was the most amount liquidated from Bitcoin, and yet it still held its own.
Yeah.
So the possibility can only continue to increase naturally. So my question then, is it appropriate, in if you are in the fiat system and you have debt and you're still able to make the monthly payments and such, but maybe you have an extra $100, is it financially appropriate for you to put that $100 toward other commodities or assets? Not commodities, but assets specifically.
Yeah. I am gonna say yes because I'll tell you why I'm gonna say yes, and this is gonna be something a little bit honest to like in the video. I bought my first piece of silver due to conversations we had and due to to understanding what Bitcoin is, because you kind of gotta like see this is the mistake that a lot of people make, and I see it even like in basic stuff like going to the gym. Like, well, I gotta go to the gym. Well, bro, chill. You're not gonna get underneath the bar and bench 315. Chill. Like you're gonna kill yourself. And that's what people kind of do. Or like they'll go and back squat freaking 500 pounds, bro. You're gonna kill yourself. Just stop. Like you kind of gotta exit out of the fiat system. See, because you were buying bullshit before into the lie. You're buying worthless paper. So exit out slowly. Buy your first piece of silver, work your way up, buy a piece of gold. That's my plan. That's where I'm like looking at it. Okay, because you gotta kind of rewire yourself to understand what an asset is basically, and you gotta like slowly like get into it.
I I was just thinking as you were talking about this, it's like it's like consciousness. It's not really totally on or totally off. You kind of have to just gradually become more awake. Holy moly.
You see,
Yeah. Whoa.
that's the cool stuff because you gotta work your way back. See, because the problem is you have to understand now. Ah, God, why I just thought about it because I saw it today in the RCA because you mentioned it too. Like, right, you never outshine the master. You can't outshine Master Fiat. You know Master Fiat's doing whatever he's doing. But see,
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like you can't just come in and go into every single financial institution. This is bullshit and blah blah blah. This is worthless piece of paper. Everybody's gonna look at you like you might as well be wearing a tin hat and like thinking and talking about aliens. Yeah, because it is an alien or foreign concept that you're trying to introduce into a system that's already has layers built into it. You can't just come in. So now, and this is where it's like people spend so much time, but this is the only place where nobody or anything can get into. So when you realize something, keep it nice and quiet and realize, okay, this is what the fiat system is doing. Master Fiat's doing this, and seeing the beautiful thing is that you can find an exit point because if you know how to leverage things against themselves, if you know how to multiply, right, because if you multiply a negative times a negative, it turns into a positive. If you know how to multiply and accelerate things and use things against themselves, I basically just described aikido.
Yeah.
like,
You got to go
like,
Aikido on the fiat system, man.
exactly. And that's what it is just understanding and reverse engineering. And even that's why like I find it so funny because I like looking at where words come from. When I looked at the word algebra just based on the prefix al meaning the, and like I started wordsmithing, and then algebra means the reunion of broken parts.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh, like that just because you can take an algebraic concept like write x, y, and z. Like right, if you know x and you know z, you can find y.
Hmm.
Or if you know X and Y, you can find Z. So the pieces are there. So long as you already have the two components, you can figure it out because you know kind of where things start and where things end, and you can kind of work your way around that. And now that because of the contrast we have with Bitcoin, and see, and it was there, but until we started talking about it, I started realizing, based on the stuff you said, based on watching Michael Saylor, I'm like, oh, and see, and at this point, I don't really care what happens with Bitcoin. Like, what I'm gonna do my due diligence and like kind of like buy and get to certain amounts of Bitcoin and like invest in that direction. And it's just like I really don't care what happens with that because the entire idea, like the information was enough to realize that. See, because we know it's bullshit. We know the fiat system's nonsense, but we didn't have a way to like say that's what it is until I heard what Michael Saylor had to say with Bitcoin. That's why like I really don't care what happens with Bitcoin because now the awareness has stuck with me. Like now I understand that I have to find a better relationship with because I can't get rid of the fiat system. So now I have to really like do my have my due diligence basically. I know I'm rambling off here a little bit, but it's just like I have to do my due diligence now when I approach that because this is a dragon. The fiat system is a dragon.
Yes, it is a dragon, and I think learning how to strategically fight because it's almost like you ever played Zelda, or do you know what it is?
Yes.
So you know
Yeah, I
how,
played Zelda before.
yeah,
Couple
so you know
games.
how, okay, good. So you know how in Zelda you kind of have to, you're just thrown into the arena, so to speak, right? And you might come across a monster that is higher level than you're ready to fight. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, no, it's lagging a little bit.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Um, are we good now?
Let me see, give it a sec. I think it's trying to catch up.
Okay.
Yeah, can you
Uh,
see me smooth?
yeah, I can see you smooth.
Okay, yeah, I can see you. Go ahead.
So, uh, you when in Zelda, dude, we're under attack. It's the Matrix, bro. It's the Matrix. It's
Just
so
let me
crazy.
speak.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Um, I'm starting to see that the fiat system is basically that level, that higher level monster that if you try to attack it the way that you were describing, and I'm glad that you brought in the 48 laws of power within this as well, because if you try to outshine the fiat system is the Oedipal mother that's going to just eat you alive. And that's not something that is going to be conducive toward a healthy state of being. So you have to, you almost have to dance with the fiat system to some degree, even though you don't want to. It's kind of like, I mean, literally dancing with the devil to some degree.
Yes.
And you've got to be acquainted with it, and you've got to, all right, slowly back away until you get the ability to just run. And because I don't know about you, but as long as the fiat system is going to be here, of course I'm going to have some fiat money, but
Yeah.
I'm only treating it as an immediate form of currency. I'm not treating it as a long-term currency at all. And it's weird to think about this in such a way because if I were to tell the people that I grew up around, or even my friends, or a lot of people that I know, uh, back in the day, or even know now in my physical community, oh my gosh, they wouldn't be able to handle it, man. They wouldn't know what I would be. What are you smoking? It's like, uh, I'm smoking reality. That's what I'm smoking. I'm smoking reality. but but yeah, it's so fascinating, and it is the dragon, as you say, for sure.
It just it very much so is like this is why I'm so glad I came into like Jordan Peterson, Carl Jung's material, like Nietzsche, all this stuff like that because it helps explain and show what it is. Like I needed all of that to understand the fiat system because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise I wouldn't be able to describe it.
Well, it is spiritual to some degree, and
It
and
is.
yeah, I mean, actually, not even to some degree, it is. It's it's pure spiritually soundness.
Like I just it's crazy because I never like because there's a lot of talks right about like in the Bible the meek shall inherit the earth like right all this stuff like that where if you take it literally you think like oh if I'm poor as hell like yeah I'm gonna like I'm gonna be fine and like I shouldn't care about worldly possessions I shouldn't care about being rich. No, let's be a little bit because right let's leave the Bible over there for a second and all that but if we understand it psychologically and we use Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We use David R. Hawkins' map of consciousness, and we do we look at all the stuff that they tell you you can't be rich and all that stuff like that. You're kind of negating this whole psychological aspect of feeling safe. See, because if you have assets, if you have money in the bank, if you have all that stuff like that, you walk around with a little bit more sense of confidence because you know, okay, I'm good. Like you can actually treat people nicely. You can
Mm-hmm.
actually like embody biblical principles more if you actually have money in the bank and like you have like right a safety cushion and you know that they like something's got you even
Yeah.
though it is a lie if you think about it like in the fiat system like it's all nonsense but it makes you feel good and so long as you feel good like you'll go out with a little bit more of a better attitude towards people
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and like that's why I think it's imperative to this like but see you get to like it's funny how with the most quote unquote evil thing on earth you actually incarnate the most good
How so?
because if you have your like I said if you feel good financially if you know you have a roof over your head you know you kind of go through Maslow's hierarchy of needs basically
Mm-hmm.
like right so safety is like the bottom layer like if your safety is covered you get to move on to the next layer and then the next layer and then like that and you actually kind of get to self actualize right which would be basically I guess right for lack of a better term, but we become just a channel or a bridge for like God to like manifest through you. Right. But
Mm-hmm.
it's kind but you kind of need to be financially sound to do that because otherwise, like how do you plan on doing it? And the reason why I say that is because I see it a lot of times in people who are broke, everybody's just exchanging favors. Nobody's
Mm-hmm.
actually doing anything good for the other person. It's just an exchange of favors. And it's kind of like it is like the fiat system in a sense because everybody's trading IOUs and everybody's trading around the same karmic debt or just debt in general. They're all just recirculating the same stuff.
Hmm.
Like
Could you go into more detail about that? Like
which one?
where did that idea come from?
Which idea? The idea of the karmic debt or like just debt in general?
Well, like you said, like it's kind of like how broke people communicate and favors. They treat favors.
Yeah, everything's a favor. Everything like I can't like I'm not treating you, for example, Thaddeus, good because I want to treat you good. I'm treating you good because I want to get something out of you. And that's kind of
Mm,
like what the fiat system entices you to do. Oh, here's another credit card. Here's
mm.
another little thing here. Oh, if you get this, oh, you get 0% interest for 12 months if you sign up for this. And see, but
Cash
you realize
that.
that you start
Cash, yeah.
all
Mm,
these times. See, right, a penny wise, but a pound poor, whatever the saying is. Because
mhm,
oh
mhm,
God,
mm,
and that's and see, and that's where I start to get like very like kind of I go off the deep end esoterically because I just like Pennywise is no different than than Judas trading Jesus for 30 pieces of silver, and then he
mhm,
lost the whole pound, which was the Son of God. Like that,
mhm,
and see, and that's where I was just like, I get so like, bro, like, how can you not see the connections? Like, sometimes like I don't mean to like, right be disrespectful towards people or like insult their intelligence, but like how do you not see the parallels? And that's the most mature stance that I've taken because of this. Because between looking at Bitcoin, between looking at the fiat system, I start to see the parallels between things.
Hmm.
And when in seeing the parallels, you start to get liberated from certain things.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, like the financial stability that you have and attain to some degree is conducive toward your spiritual state in one way, shape, or form or another. And it's not to say that if you're broke, you're evil, or if you're
Yeah.
broke, you're stupid. It just means that you might have made decisions that were dumb. you might, you might
Yeah.
have, and you might have not just seen those things that happened or are happening in your life to where you can actually see straight. Maybe you were manipulated, maybe you were deceived, but maybe you were greedy for a second and God had to humble you. But the great thing about Bitcoin is that you don't like it kind of makes it hard to make dumb decisions with Bitcoin.
It's true. You still there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm just thinking. Yeah.
Got you. No, because in between like the internet dropping and the conversations we're having, it's like I'm just making sure that you're still there because it's like somebody's not happy.
Yeah. No, I'm here. I'm just thinking because um it's just very deep. And yeah, I don't know how people well, I would assume that the reason that people don't see the parallels is because they really just don't know that they don't know.
Yeah.
And that kind of ignorance can create arrogance,
You
or
know.
it could create just pure, idiocy.
Yeah.
There's not
I
really
you
a polarity. There's not really
s-
a polarity that can happen when it comes to, or there's not a polarity that can't happen when it comes to uh, forsaking knowledge.
even with you saying that it's just that all are like knowledge, truth. When I like even because right, this is just okay, I guess shamelessly, I don't know, but your book like there's a part where you mentioned the word truth a couple times, and above it, I just wrote Christ. Like
Hmm.
because when you turn your back on knowledge, when you turn your back on truth, when you turn your back, you are turning your back against God. Like you really are doing what Judas did. You are throwing away the Son of God for 30 pieces of silver. And right, for reference to those who don't know, 30 pieces of silver was what people paid to buy a slave. Like you're literally throwing it away for like broke knowledge, poor stuff. Like this is where it's just like, oh my God, like
Well,
I'm
and
not like, how do,
how much was 30 silver pieces back then compared
Lord,
to today's money?
Lord knows. I didn't even care when I found out that that's what it was. I didn't even care about the amount because it's just like I just saw it from the perspective like, damn, we really do throw away like the most beautiful things for fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly what I saw. I didn't even care about looking up the amount because I just understood the magnitude of what was being said. It was like for 30 pieces of silver, you turned your back on God. Like that's all I saw when I realized that that was also the amount that people paid for a slave. It's basically worth nothing. Like that's
Mm.
what they're trying to imply. It's worthless in the sight of what you could gain, or what
Mm.
you could have had you not turned your back against God. And see, and not to make it because we're making maybe I'm going a little bit off like the more like Christian side and more like right being like follower of Christ kind of idea, but it already like you're the highest good, you having something more than just like right like you, for example, with the fiat system, like it will encourage you to buy something stupid as opposed to like buy assets, like yeah, because Disney World sounds a lot more fun than a brick of gold.
Yeah. Well,
Like
and because you don't know the value of it. I mean, it's like this is something I realized with even myself because the moment I started to treat myself as an asset and the most important asset, that was when things started to shift. And even to this day, there are still shifts that happen when I have to almost re-remember that I'm an asset to myself. That it's not a bad thing to re-remember that. And because sometimes you might be saying something or being something for somebody, and you just aren't appreciated for it, and they don't like you don't understand. You're like, wait a second, I didn't have to do this. I didn't have to. I didn't have to be kind to you or to do whatever it was for you or whatever, right? And they act like,
Mm.
and they act like like they're entitled to it, and you're thinking to yourself, no, wait a second, uh, you know that I really didn't have to do this. That's like the whole fiat system in general. Is it teaches people to be entitled. Oh my gosh, bro.
The
I'm
ego inflation.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's so much ego inflation. Yeah. You know what's interesting? I just thought about this on a consciousness level. I wonder if the inflation of a currency can also uh, be equivalent to the inflation of the egos of the people. Yeah.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my god. Not like because as you were saying it, I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Like, yeah, keep go. Like, I'm like, yes, because all I can think about right now at the moment you mentioned that was the verse in the Tao Te Ching when it says that when the Tao is lost, like the last thing that comes up is this patriotism that comes out of people,
Mm,
this pride that
yeah.
comes out of people. And yes, it does have to do because it is on a very like that's what it is because we start biting off more than we can chew. That's why we're $38 trillion in debt, among
Yeah.
other things, right? But we just keep printing. Yeah, just keep printing money. Who cares? Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah.
I'm good for
Oh,
it.
did you know how much the interest is for the United States per year? It's something like 1.3 trillion. Do you know how insane that is? Like that's even even all of the taxes, even if everybody paid their taxes what they were supposed to and what all that, like even if the rich paid their taxes and they didn't go through the loopholes of the system, it still wouldn't be enough. That's how crazy in debt we are. And people don't realize that this is not like it's just not sustainable. It's absolutely not sustainable. And I think that at this point we kind of have to abandon ship to some degree. Uh, Again, dance with the devil long enough to until the Kraken comes along and tries to. Have you ever seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
You get a long time ago. Actually, I'm gonna rewatch it because I know I know they're good, but I never like I just say typical stuff when you're a kid. You just like watching cool cartoons and not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, the Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. It's the one with Davy Jones, and then the Kraken. Yeah, the Kraken is summoned, and the Kraken takes down the Black Pearl, and that's so. And Captain Jack basically is forced to fight it at the very end, but everybody else gets away. You kind of have to fight the Kraken in a way because the fiat system is the Kraken, and the Kraken's coming for the ship,
Yep.
and we gotta be on the ship long enough to where we can get close enough to land to where we can swim and still not get eaten by the Kraken. And because the ship is and the captain of the ship, whoever the captain is, because they're all shadowy figures anyway, we have no clue
Yeah.
who's really in charge. We have no clue who's in charge. I'm convinced of that. I think trusting the government is gay. I don't know anybody who trusts the government that's not gay. Like like why would you do that? Why would you trust the government, man? I don't get it. I don't. It's just so stupid. Um, and am I saying gay people are stupid? I'll let you
No.
decide, audience. I'll neither confirm nor deny. But the point is that the fiat system and the Federal Reserve is not technically the government. Technically,
No.
yeah, it's not technically the government, but that doesn't mean that it's not all part of the same game.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that happens.
Mm,
Like the only reason why like supposedly I forgot I was watching some like guy talk about the Federal Reserve. Like the only thing like you'd think he's crazy because he was talking about numerology and stuff like that, but he just said it. He's like, yeah, that's not the government doesn't own that. They just put the word federal in it because as soon as you think federal, you think government, so you think it's part of the government. Like
yeah.
it's just and you just dismiss it because of the fact that it says federal.
Yep. And that's oh, it's so manipulative. It's so cunning, man. And you almost are kind of inspired by it because you're like, you sons of bitches. Like you all right, all right. And then you kind of want to fight, but then at the same time you're like, okay, nope, but I've got to play this game right. I need to play this game right. Otherwise, it's not gonna go the way that I want it to go. And yeah, man, it's super insane how people don't see the parallels though between spirituality and the like not even just the fiat system, but just the finance part of life. I don't know how you don't see it.
I don't know, because it goes with how linear we see. That's why we're so linear. Like we think everything is just like you know how even in our speech, yeah, like, what are you gonna do after work? Yeah, I'm just gonna go straight home. The drive
Hmm.
definitely is not straight.
Yeah, that's
And if
interesting.
you and if you look at it long enough, you realize you're doing a circle because
Hmm.
you do repeating the same cycle. You go homework, homework, homework. Like and that's the oh my god. And even that when you talk about it, like because we've discussed about this before, like how the stock market, like the rise and falls and things like that, have to do with the moon,
Hmm.
and it has to do with the moon, and that's where we get the word lunatic from. But I'm sitting there thinking too, because all right, now we're gonna start going into like, okay, let me try and paint a picture because I like this is where I start going. Like right, gold is supposed to be equivalent to the sun, right? And if we look at it, like the sun functions like the male figure in a family, like it is the father. It is like the thing that's always giving an abundance to everybody. So what did we do? What did Mommy Fiat do? Mommy Fiat got a divorce from gold and says, no, I can value myself. I'm strong, independent. Don't need no man. Don't need no gold to back myself. And now look where we're at.
Hmm.
And now this is where the inflation starts to happen. And see, this is what we're. Oh
Oh my
god.
gosh, dude. I like how we
No.
both we both realize at the same time like how crazy terrible. Oh my gosh.
Ah.
That was so uh that was funny and horrible at the same time. Uh, it's so bad, dude. It's so bad. Wow. It's so fascinating having conversations about this because you you literally the more you study Bitcoin and the more you talk about it, you just keep unraveling the idiocracy of it, of the whole system. And it's crazy how ah
See, and then they give it a beautiful formal name, and it's called bureaucracy.
yeah, yeah, they do. Wow.
Ah, they're so good with their words. You see, and see, and that's the same thing. At some point, it's just like it like they look down upon you. But if you actually flip the script around, like you could even say on a weird level, like I'm honored at the fact that I got put into this because I get to figure this out now.
Yeah. Mm.
It's like it's weird, like kind of like right, like the fact that they think so lowly if you can get to the point where like I'm honored at the fact that you think this.
Well, that's kind of the story of David and Goliath to some degree. Yeah. It's like, oh,
Oh
we're
God.
gonna it's like we're gonna be like David, man. Be like David and defeat Goliath. It's such
See,
a powerful image.
and that's what it is. It's just like even God, it's just like see when I we start talking about this, like we start talking about the different myths, and then we start talking like these conversations for some apparent reason, I don't know why, but it just cements Jesus more into me. Like
Yeah.
like you know how we've discussed this before. Like it really is like you remember I heard it in a lecture before. Like right for some people, God is a concept. For the person who knows and understands that God is a reality. And like when we have these conversations, because you start seeing the parallels, you're like, oh my God, like it really just like if you could impress it more into your soul, it's like getting like more impressed in there. Like it's like it really is like a like I forgot like it gets more immersed into your character. And I think character, I think if you go back to the Greek word, it means chisel. It means something that's like etched in
Mm,
there. Like it doesn't, it's impressed in it. Like it becomes such a part of you. Like
mm,
that's where like I get it's hard to describe because I could just see images flashing in my head.
mm,
But like because I can see the patterns there. Even like when I've said to get a little or it off topic in a sense, but like it's not the people who don't believe in Jesus the most are the ones that show me he's the most real because they act just like him. They try and educate, they try and take care of people, they try and minister to them and give them advice. And I'm like, oh, like, and that's
mm.
where see, and it's the people who don't believe the most in Bitcoin or in something other than the fiat system that show you why it's a viable option and why it's more than like actually what it is because there's a reason why there's such a resistance to it.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, like the resistance part, because I mean, we all had. I don't know anybody that hasn't studied Bitcoin that hasn't had some resistance to it, which is, kind of interesting.
Once you're lagging,
Oh,
give it a second.
are we good? Everything's
All right, let's
smooth?
give it a second again. Hey, let me see. I can hear you, but you're still frozen.
Oh,
Do you see me smooth?
yeah, I see you smooth, just fine. Am
Okay, I
I
see you smooth. Yeah.
am I good?
Yeah. The things we gotta do, you
We gotta
know.
we gotta dance with the devil, man. We gotta dance with the fucking devil, dude. uh,
Oh my God.
it's crazy, man. It's so crazy. And what's interesting? We've never had problems with this,
I
like with
know.
this platform. And now here we are talking about Jesus and Bitcoin, and all of a sudden, things get wacky. But
Thank you,
uh,
MSA. Thank you.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks for keeping an eye on us. You're so kind. Um, but yeah, wow, shoot, what was I going to say about? Oh yeah, the resistance. It's interesting that there's a.
Yes, the
Oh my
resistance.
gosh, we even were talking about resistance, and then wow, uh, that's so crazy. But yeah, so the resistance to Bitcoin, I think, is also very interesting because even all the disciples, everybody who follows Jesus, has some kind of resistance to him at first. Usually, like I don't really know anybody that's all for Jesus, all like from the get go. I've never met anybody like that.
Yeah.
Even the most uh, loyal and devout Christians and whatnot, followers of Christ, they've all had struggles with their faith, which I think is very interesting because Bitcoin is a mathematical equation for freedom to some degree when it comes to the monetary system. And I think that's one of the reasons why people have a resistance to it is because it's like it kind of seems too good to be true and like the pyramid scheme that we were talking about as well. It kind of seems like it
Yeah.
could be like that. But what would be the reasons for it and against it, do you think? It being a pyramid scheme.
Maybe but isn't everything a pyramid scheme? Now that I say it, everything is about a hierarchy. There's always people standing up top. Like I don't know. It's because I'd have to because I was gonna watch a video on that because I wanted to see like what that person's thoughts were on it, but it got just the title itself like got me thinking. I'm like, yeah, like, but everything's a pyramid scheme to a certain degree. Like, there's always somebody sitting up top, and there's always followers, and there's always something. Like, even like there's a sense of a hierarchy. So I'm not sure in how it could potentially be a pyramid scheme. Or like maybe if we look at it from like the elite's perspective, like let's dangle the carrot in front of them and think that they actually can get free.
Hmm.
And if they buy into this shit, then we trap them even more.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's like the only way I can see it playing out. I mean, we've talked before about how like Satoshi Nakamoto is a Saturnist, which would be a Satanist basically, and like, but maybe it's his shot at redeeming. If he really is that, then maybe it's his shot at redeeming. Like, because that's the only thing that you could take. Like, if you really sin beyond the point of like beyond a certain point, like because there is such a thing as unredeemable sin. Like, right,
Yes.
that's the ninth circle of hell, which is complete, utter, and utter treachery. Like, the only thing you could do at that point, even though you are being a treacherous person, is tell people, don't ever come in this direction. Like, this is what you have to do to never come and end up being like me. Like, just stay 100% away from this. Like,
Hmm.
that's the only thing that I could see from on Satoshi's end. But as far like I don't know about pyramid scheme, but a scheme as a whole, like that's the only thing I can say. Like, if we get enough people to buy into this, then we just pull the rug out from underneath them, and now they're fucked. Like, what are they gonna
Well,
do?
well, so Satoshi Nakamoto allegedly, whoever that is, like if it's one
Yeah,
person or a group of people, allegedly they own like 1 million Bitcoin, and they bought it. They bought it in like the early stages of Bitcoin, and they've not sold it or bought any more, allegedly. So
yeah,
um, even if they did do that, though, like let's say they did pull the rug, uh, hello, Bitcoin just there. It's still there's still going to only be 21 million,
yeah,
and not only that, but it's like Bitcoin's on sale. All the people that didn't get Bitcoin, maybe before it got to $1 million of Bitcoin, if they sell it, well, all of a sudden, maybe it'll go down to $800,000 of Bitcoin for a minute, but people will buy in because they'll, by that point, if Bitcoin gets to $1 million, I don't see how anybody would be. I mean, unless you're still a normie, I guess, but like, I don't see
yeah,
how anybody, if it got to $1 million for a Bitcoin, people would be like, I still don't believe in it.
yeah. Like, I know exactly what you mean. Like, they would say, like, how is this like? How is this a lie now?
Yeah, how is it a lie? I don't know how it would be. And I mean, even thinking about it right now, a year ago, $100,000 for a Bitcoin was like it was inconceivable. And now $103,000 for a Bitcoin is low. That's how quick things can change. So who knows?
Yeah,
Like who knows what can happen? Uh, but yeah, I just thought that was kind
no,
of interesting.
yeah, no, you're 100% right because it's just I'm thinking about it now because even with your hesitations towards Bitcoin, like, bro, you didn't know anything about the fiat system to begin with, and you're participating in it. Like, it would just be in your best interest to explore a different option. And in doing so, see, oh my God, it's just like real, like it's the same thing. Like, you find out about Bitcoin, you realize, oh my God, there's a woman who doesn't talk shit about me over there. There's a woman who doesn't like not appreciate me over there. Like, what's that over there? And you come back to this, you're like, oh God, like, bitch, you don't love me. Like, you don't care about me. You never did. And it's like you kind of start to like because it opens you up to that.
It's like a lion who's lived in the zoo his whole life, not knowing he's lived in the zoo, and he's been fed, slop basically. Nothing alive. It's all just cut up meat, right? But then he escapes the zoo and he gets to experience hunting that gazelle for the first time. And oh my gosh, You want to put me back in the fucking zoo? No way, man. No way I'm not going back in the zoo. There's no way I'm going back in the zoo. That's the way. That's another way to look at it too.
Christ, man, the internet, God. I
Oh, is it going bad again? Oh my goodness.
I know
Okay.
exactly what you mean though. Like the lion's in captivity. He fucking finally bites the gets out. Like, you want to put me back in that goddamn thing? No,
No way. Yeah, no
get
way.
away from me.
Yeah,
Oh
I would
god,
rather
I
die
just
than go
the
back in.
more you talk about it, the more slowly starts to unravel itself.
Yeah, it's really fascinating how that works. Are we still there? Are we still good?
Exactly. Oh, here we go again with the internet. Here we go again.
Uh, maybe we might have to call it. Um,
Let's see, because you're frozen right now.
Still frozen. You're smooth on my
Can you
end.
still hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's still frozen, but can you hear me? I mean,
Yeah, I can hear you. Dang it.
what is up with it?
Hmm. I'm
You
not
know,
sure. I have
yeah,
full
but
bar.
why? But give me a
Uh,
second, because I'm trying not for this to disconnect. Let me see if
okay, you're smooth on my end. Okay, we are back. So I think then really what I want to close out with is how Bitcoin is actually a spiritual phenomenon, and not just Bitcoin, but finances in general, and why it's important to have the understanding because we don't want to be, we want, if we actually want a woman to appreciate us, we've got to learn how to appreciate her, man. And it's the same kind of thing with the finance system. Have you heard the saying that money is a cruel mistress?
you've mentioned it a couple times. Yes.
Yeah, like money's a cruel mistress, and if you don't pay attention to her, she's gonna she's gonna come back with a ferocity. She's
Yeah.
so it's but she's a loving wife. So if you can make sure everything's appreciative and she's appreciative and you're actually affectionate, you pay attention to her, but you don't you don't like just always give her whatever she wants, like the fiat system. You just
Yeah.
go more and more into debt, but you give her what she needs, everything's going to be fine. And we don't want to be that lion that tasted Giselle and now has to go back in the zoo. We're going to stay wild, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good thing. I just say just a couple things for people now that so that way they can, on the back end of this, right? The reason why you're broke is because you're broken somehow. Some part of you, there's a leak of energy basically. There's a leak of spirit somewhere. So you need to figure out where those holes are, and not to mention too that, like, right. We don't want to sit here and talk about all the stuff like the mark of the beast and all that stuff like that, bud. Trust me, like, there is no bigger Leviathan or behemoth than that fiat system.
Yes.
You want to talk about like that thing screaming blasphemy up and down the streets, and it's just just give it a shot. Everybody just do a little bit of research, and right, there's just two guys on the internet talking about this, but right, from all types of angles and all types of stuff like that, it's best to like do some research and like actually think about it and just look up what the fiat system is. Like, just do that. Like, forget Bitcoin for a second, just look up what the fiat system is, and then just start putting it in place like that, and start realizing, well, wait a second, if this was a woman, she's telling me I got to make sure that like I don't value myself properly, because that way she gets to do whatever she wants to do with me.
Yep.
And you mentioned earlier about thinking, seeing yourself as an asset, and you looked up the definition of that word or the etymology of the word asset, and it says to be sufficient enough. And you
Mhm.
know, see, and this is where it starts to get like really funny because like the girls do like all these weird affirmations and things. Like I've seen them with shirts that say, "I'm good enough," "You're
Yeah.
enough." Like it kind of like if you start like bringing it around and start looking at yourself like and start thinking like no, I am good enough, like I am an asset, I am this, like, and even it's spiritually sound in every single sense, and even when you look at it alchemically too, like
Mm.
within even the piece of lead lies the potentiality for gold. That's
Mm.
why it can that's why lead can be turned into gold in the first place, because it has that little piece or particle of gold inside of it, just like we all have, like every single element in the universe is inside our body. That's why it's just which qualities we want to like amplify or manifest out or multiply out. And same thing, here we go again with the biblical thing, be fruitful and multiply.
Mhm.
Damn.
Yep. It's timeless for a reason, man.
Ah, God.
Well, I think we'll end it with that. Thanks
Yeah,
again
because
for being on,
of course, always.
and I hope everybody has a blessed rest of your day or night, whatever time of the day or night you're watching this. And I apologize for the technical difficulties, but we were able to make it through. So we're going to fight through these spiritual attacks and we're going to stay resilient. I hope everybody has a blessed night. Peace.
Peace.